on how to process your EDI transactions on Webgate Plus for ARCELOR MITTAL. It's with great pleasure that I'll be walking you through our user-friendly tool. So I'm going to introduce myself quickly. My name is Jennifer Fink, and I will be the host for this English webinar. This tool will be replacing our actual Webgate portal. Our old version will be shut down on November 25th. Your previous transactions may have already been imported into the Webgate Plus portal for you by either Judy or Jamie from our setup team. You have also been assigned a username and password to allow you to start transmitting your invoices and receiving your purchase orders right away. You will be able to change your password when you enter the tool, which I will show you in just a moment. To limit the transactions that need to be imported in the new Webgate Plus, please make sure that you send the purchase orders and the invoices that have not been completed and paid for to setup@edigateway.com in order for us to import all of your documents for you. All your history will be kept in our servers, and you can always access them by requesting specific transactions if you ever need it down the line. For transactions, username and passwords, please email also setup@edigateway.com. Here's the agenda for today, which we will try to fit everything within a 15-minute period. After we have completed the webinar, we will have a Q&A period, so don't worry if you have any questions. I will answer all of your questions at the end. So just a brief description about who we are and what we do for our customers. You may be dealing with us for multiple of your clients doing EDI, or maybe it's just for ARCELOR MITTAL, but note we do provide a wide range of solutions. We have been in business since 1993 and have been holding our reputation as the best personalized service in the industry ever since. We have developed the Canadian and US markets by offering complete EDI solutions that can service the small mom and pop shop to the Fortune 500 companies, and onboard more and more European vendors recently. We are a Microsoft Gold partner and member of the Microsoft Partner Network Executive Board. So let's take a quick look at the type of services that we offer to all of our hubs and spokes. Our Service Bureau offers our clients the possibility to receive and transmit all of their EDI documents on their behalf. Some of our customers simply send us their invoices from their accounting package and we process them on their behalf. Some others will use this service while they are integrating their EDI so that their business can continue as usual and stay compliant with their EDI trading partner. Our Webgate Plus is our new web EDI portal, which I am presenting to you today. This option is a great option for low to medium volume, or if you are in the middle of integrating your EDI. Some of our clients have been using web portals for over 10 years, and they continue to do so. Our EDI integration solution allows you to integrate your EDI into any ERP or accounting package, avoiding double data entry. We successfully integrate EDI into Microsoft GP, AX ERP systems, Navision, NetSuite, and Business One from SAP. If you do need to be integrated EDI with another system, just let us know, as our team develops adapters on a regular basis. We also offer file transfer protocol where the exchange of business documents is done through FTP or SFTP. Our last addition to our solutions is our VAN services, which we are a part of just a few providers of networks in North America. While our clients continue to grow and get fully integrated, we are still able to offer the VAN service and accompany all of our clients through their growth cycles. Okay, so now we're going to look at the process for transmitting the EDI with ARCELOR MITTAL. To be compliant with ARCELOR MITTAL, you will receive purchase orders. You will then create your invoices. You will create credit notes when applicable. You will send them, and you will then receive an acknowledgement back from ARCELOR MITTAL. Within the tool, your purchase orders can be viewed and printed from the inbox. Just like Microsoft Outlook, your transactions saved will be in your outbox, and you will be sending them through there. Your sent box will have all of the invoices and credits that you've sent, along with the status. And that is where you will look for your acknowledgements. So now we're going to actually log into Web Plus. To log in, you will use your username and password that was sent to you by email from our setup department. And you will also need your tax registration numbers to enter that into the profile. That will be something that you would need to have on hand at the time. So over here, this is the login page for Webgate Plus. And so you would put in your username right here, and then you would put in your password. And then we have a little security thing here that you have to punch in the numbers and letters, and you would just simply click on Sign In. So once you log in, you will get the home page, which is where we are right now. This dashboard will eventually be filled with business intelligence KPIs in a later iteration. For the moment, it just gives you information concerning your EDI transactions. To change your password, you can click up here to change password, and then you would just follow the steps required. To activate your new password, you just simply log out and then log back in. So in order to transmit the transactions to ARCELOR MITTAL, you have to first click on Profile. And this is where you would enter the tax registration numbers. These are the only fields that are required in the profile. And so please ensure that your PST, GST, and HST are entered. Since we are using a generic profile for all the trading partners on Webgate Plus, these fields need to be filled. If you do not have an HST, for example, you just simply copy your GST number into the field. After you finish this step, you are ready to click on the Document tab right here at the top. This will lead you by default to the inbox. You're now in your inbox in Webgate Plus. This is where all of your POs will come into the system. So I'll first show you some grid options that may come in handy for you. You can put the fields in order that you prefer. You can drag and drop the fields for your preferred viewing. Please note that the viewing will be saved according to how you have left it when you exit the tool. This preferred view is related to the computer and not the user. So if more than one person is sharing the same computer, the view will not adapt per username. So I'll show you what I mean by this. You can click and drag the fields over if you prefer to have the retailer first or the document date first, and so on and so forth. Just whatever changes you do make, it will stay that way. To search for a document, you can enter the number in this document number field here. So for instance, first of all, I will change this to ARCELOR MITTAL. And if I wanted to just search for a specific PO, I would just type it in and press enter, and only that PO would come up in the inbox. See the various options related to the document. You can right-click on the document and select the required option. So for instance, if you would like to view the PO, you can right-click and view report and just give it a few moments. And this is your PO report, which you can, from here, choose to either print it or you can choose to save it. And to close, you can either press the red X or the top X in the top right corner. To create an invoice, you simply right-click on the appropriate purchase order and select Create Invoice. This is just a message that pops up if you've already created an invoice with this particular PO. In this case, for training purposes, we had already created an invoice, so you would simply press OK. But this is a good indicator for you if you, by chance, already invoiced for a certain PO. This will be a warning message for you, so you don't re-invoice. So to create your invoice, you'll need to enter minimal information, since most of the information required will be coming in from off the PO or from your profile, and it will already be populated for you on the invoice. The invoice has 4 sections. The first section is the header. In the header, the fields that you will be required to enter are the invoice date, the invoice number, so we'll just put in a random number for now, the packing list number. So once you have completed the header section, you may move on to the detail section by clicking on Next at the bottom or on Detail at the top. So you can click here or down here. And as you can see, everything else has already been filled in. So we'll press Next. So in the Detail section, you must enter the taxable items. If all the items are taxable, you can simply click on Tax All. So there's a place here where you can do GST all, PST all. If you have items that are not taxable, you can choose to simply click on only the items that are taxable. I'll just put them all as taxable for now. If you have not shipped the purchase order completely, you also may change your quantities. So how you would do that is you would simply double click in the quantity field that needs to be changed and simply enter the new quantity and press enter. You always have to make sure that your total at the bottom right down here matches your accounting invoice. At this point, you have 2 options. You can save if your invoice is complete and valid, or you can save it as a draft if you need to get an approval or come back to your invoice later. So your two options are up here, save as a draft or the green save button. When you save as a draft, it will avoid anyone else from sending your invoice from the outbox. If your invoice is complete, you would just simply click on save. Your invoice will be marked as valid and it will be waiting to be sent in your outbox. So for the training purposes, we'll just simply save this invoice. A message will pop up. Oh, it says the document number being saved already exists. So that's a good indicator as well. If you have already used the same invoice number, you do not want to do that. So that's a good warning message. At this point, we'll just go back and I'll add a few more numbers. And a message will pop up saying that your invoice number is valid and you would just simply press on OK. So at this point, you're ready to click on your outbox to view the invoice that you just created. This is where all the documents that have not been sent will be. To send all the valid documents, you can click on Send Valid. This will send all the documents that have a valid status in the outbox. So just be careful when you press this button. If you are not ready to send all of the invoices, you can simply select the one invoice that you want to send and click on the Send button, and it will only send that one invoice. At this point, once you've sent your invoices, you would click on the Sent box, and this is where all of your sent documents will be stored. Unless you choose to archive them, your documents will be here. This is also where you need to look for the status of each transaction. You need to make sure that your transactions have been acknowledged within a maximum of 24 hours after you have sent them. If they haven't been acknowledged, please contact us within after the 24-hour period, and we will look into that for you. The possible statuses are as follows. You will have a status in queue. This means that we are processing it and it will be sent in the next 4 minutes maximum. So so we can see, I will send the invoice that I just created. And as you can see, the status right now is in queue. Sent means that we have sent it and that we're waiting for the acknowledgement from ARCELOR MITTAL. So at this point, all you would see is a sent, and you would see the sent date, but you would not see an acknowledged date. Acknowledged, it means that it has been acknowledged by ARCELOR MITTAL, and the date and the time will also be indicated. You may choose to archive your documents when they are completed and paid by ARCELOR MITTAL. To do so, you simply right-click on the document and select Archive. And at this point, when you do select Archive, you would click on the Archive button, and all of your archive documents will be found in this section. Reminders for ARCELOR MITTAL. When you're doing credits, apply a credit to invoices sent through EDI only. Apply the right field for the reason of the credit. Allowances and charges are not accepted, and only save as a draft when you do not want your transactions to be sent. So thank you for your attention, and that we hope that you have found our new Web EDI to be user-friendly. We understand that there is often discomfort and change, and we want to let you know that our staff is there to answer all of your questions. As technology moves forward, we do have to adapt and change our systems to make them compatible with today's tools. So at this point, we are going to go to our questions period. Please show us how to do a credit. Sure. So I will go back to so how you would do a credit is, of course, it has to be against an actual invoice that you have sent. So you go to your sent box and you would simply right-click on the invoice that you need to credit and choose the option Create Credit Invoice. At this point, you will be prompted to enter, it says invoice number, but really it's a credit number. So you just put in your number there. Everything else is populated from both the invoice and the PO, so there's nothing more to do here. You would then click on Next. And as you can see, all of your quantities are now in red, which means that they're being credited. So at this point, if everything looks okay, if you're crediting the whole invoice, you would simply then just click Save. If you are only crediting a portion, you could go here and change your quantities. Right-click to remove items that don't need to be credited. And when you are finished, just as if you are in the invoice portion, you would click on Save. And it says invoice blah, 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 blah is valid, and you would press OK. In the outbox, you will notice that the document type is a credit invoice. And at this point, you could choose to view your reports to just make sure everything looks good. You will note that the total is negative, and the process is the same as sending an invoice. You would just simply highlight that credit and press the send button. And it will ask you, are you sure you want to send? And you will say okay. And the credit will then be found in the sent box. So that is the process for the credit. All of the tax rates and the prices will be correct in Web Plus. We've ensured that all of the data is accurate. Okay, so to change your tax rate, we're just going to go back to here. So when you are in the inbox and you are going to create an invoice, you have two other tabs that normally we don't have to worry about. The summary tab, there's nothing in there that you have to change or modify, but there is a tax configuration tab. And so it would be here where you would change your tax rates if needed. You would simply click on custom and change the percentages as necessary. Right now, the tax rates are set as per what the percentages are right now, but if ever that changes, that's where you would go. And it would be specific to each invoice that you're doing. If the taxes change from the government, what we would do in this case is that the setting auto is the tax rates that are current right now. So for instance, the GST is 5%, PST 9.975% for Quebec. So we would do all the changes in that case, but if you have a specific any changes to do within an invoice, you can always click on custom and do the changes here. Price manipulation can be done just like when we change the quantity by double clicking, you would do the same thing for the unit price. You would simply double click on the unit price and go ahead and change it. And then press enter to save. And always making sure that your totals match at the bottom, of course. Unfortunately, no, because the pricing is coming off of the purchase order. So it will not be saved. When you load a PO to do an invoice, it will always take the item information off the PO. So if you do have any changes to quantity or unit prices, you will have to manually make those changes. Let us know any POs that you need moved from the old system to the new system. You can send us an email and we can do that for you, as well as any invoices that you have sent. If you do need copies moved into the new system, into Webgate Plus, we can do that for you as well. Email is set up at edigateway.com. You can email them for all the requests. Any invoices that are unpaid, you can give us those invoice numbers and we will move them all over to Webgate Plus for you. Your POs right now, the way that you're receiving them, I'm sure they're coming in to you by fax and email. So that process will not change. The only difference is when you do receive those fax and email notifications, you won't be logging into the old web system. You'll be logging into Webgate Plus to view and create your invoices and credit notes. As always, if anybody has any questions, they can always reach somebody wonderful over here at EDI Gateway who's super helpful. So we're happy to be there to assist.